Hey guys, what's up? I'm Arsen, and today I'm going to talk about what it's like to be half Polish, half Italian, and half Armenian, half Greek, and to be born and raised in Turkey. And I'm going to timestamp every single thing that I'm going to mention in the video. If there's parts that you're interested, you can directly skip to this part. I studied history and anthropology in university, and then also, I had to drop out, but I studied theater criticism and dramaturgy. What's the meaning of your name? The meaning of my name is, it's a Greek originated name. You can most of the time see like Armenian people and French people use this name. In Armenian, it means like very brave and masculine. Most of the time I get this question like, where are you from? Okay, I was born and raised in Turkey, in Istanbul. I spent the first 20 years of my life in this island that is called Büyükada. And it was such a beautiful island. I'll insert a picture right here. Mainly Greek people and Turkish, Armenian, and Jewish people, they were living in this island. This is where I grew up. My mom is half Polish, half Italian, and my dad is fully Armenian. My grandparents' parents, they're from Warsaw and Krakow. So basically they came from Poland. They had to leave the Poland because Poland was destroyed at the time, invaded, like by the end of like 19th century. And they had to come to Istanbul, so they didn't speak Polish at all, because they didn't want to get recognized because they were just hiding. So what's like to be Polish, even though I don't speak the language, I always felt like, you know, a little bit Polish more than feeling like Armenian or Italian. I would say that, you know, what I saw from my family, being Catholic has like a huge influence on their life, on Polish people. And honestly, my parents are like, when I was growing up, I saw that my parents were like very Catholic, very religious people. So I don't consider myself as a religious person at all. When I was growing up, you know, I grew up with like classical music, like Chopin. I listened to Chopin all the time. Okay, now let's talk about how it's like to be Italian. I want to tell a few things about the Italian history in Turkey. It's my grandma's parents, they're coming from Italy. They're from Venice. At the time, you know, more than 100 years ago, there were so many Italians and French people who lived in Istanbul and Izmir. Izmir was called Smyrna at the time. Italians and French people and other people who lived in Turkey, they were called Levantan. These are the people who came to the city, who came to Turkey for trades. Italian people were like very significant traders at the time, and those people mainly came to Istanbul and Smyrna, Izmir for trades. And basically they settled in and they started a new life in Istanbul or Izmir. This is why I'm Italian. This is the background of my Italian line. Another thing is, people who lived in Turkey at the time, Italians, French, Italians, and other nationalities, other people from different nationalities, they used to speak Greek, because Greek was like the only common language that people used to speak in Turkey. For instance, when I was living in Büyükada, I know from my parents, no matter what nationality you're coming from, like even if you're French or Italian or whatever country you're coming from, they used to know Greek. Also, my grandpa's mom, Greek. So basically, I was exposed to Greek ceremonies, like Greek culture, Greek religion, you know, Orthodox religion. I was exposed to Greek culture so much, like holidays, special days. And also for me in the world, Greek people know how to celebrate New Year. This book consists a lot of articles written by different academics. This book is about Izmir, it's about Smyrna and how people used to live together. Kozmopolit yapı içinde Ortodoks ve Katolik Hristiyanlar, Yahudiler ve Müslümanlar Avrupa'ya doğrudan açılan bu ticaret kentinde hoşgörüleri, yenilikçi açıklıkları ve sanat sevgileriyle hep birlikte yaşadılar. Marie Carmen Simonelis'in derlediği ve İzmir'in kozmopolit zenginliğini ortaya çıkaran bu çok yazarlı kitap 1830-1930 yılları arasında İzmirlilerin hikayesini anlatıyor. Okay, let's talk about how it's like to be Armenian. My dad is fully Armenian, but the thing about being Armenian is I really don't feel like Armenian at all. I never felt like an Armenian in my entire life. When I was growing up, like at the age of 18, I started reading about history, Ottoman history. While I was learning about Ottoman history, you know, also I was learning about Armenian history. I worked in an Armenian publishing house. I really wanted to get familiar with Armenian culture. I wanted to immerse myself in Armenian culture, Armenian literature, Armenian history, etc. But I don't feel like an Armenian at all. When I interact with Armenian, I can see so much signs of being Anatolian. Now let's talk about what it's like to be living in Turkey. I will say that Turkish people are like very extroverted people. They're like very friendly. They like to help each other out. You know, whatever situation you're in, you can always find help from Turkish people. This is like the thing that I like the most about Turkish people. This is not even like generalization about Turkey. There is this culture in Turkey like everybody's brother. Everybody's brother sister here. Okay. Everybody's so close here. Turkish people are like the most social people I ever seen in my life, and that affects their relationship, that affects their personal relationship, that affects the way they think, that affects their life, that has a huge influence on their life. Let's say you're going out to have a cup of coffee, okay? With your friend, with your Turkish friends. You think that you're just gonna have a cup of coffee and that's it, right? I can assure you that you're gonna end up spending the rest of the day with them. If you don't, like, hey guys, I gotta go. You just go for a coffee and then you end up having a dinner with them. You just end up staying over at your friend's house, etc. You know what I mean? Like, there is like no distance, okay? There's like no personal space in Turkey. It's just so weird. So let's talk about pros and cons of being mixed. What I can tell you guys, if you combine Greek food, Armenian food, and Turkish food, you can have the world's best breakfast, best dinner, best foods in your life. This is probably like the best part of being mixed. Being mixed is hard. It is not easy because if you really want to identify yourself, you're really gonna struggle with that. You know, like, I don't know what to call myself. Like, when someone's asking me like, where are you from, or, you know, what is your nationality, like, I don't know, like, I'm just like Arsen. And that kind of like feels weird. You always feel like you should belong somewhere. What I learned from my personal experiences, people tend to rely on their identities because they want to feel safe, because they feel like, you know, they get their power from their nationalities, from their beliefs. I mean, this is not a bad thing. I'm not judging that, but I kind of learned being on my own, like, I kind of learned to not rely on my beliefs, not rely on my, you know, religion, not rely on my nationalities, you know, because I kind of saw so many people from different cultural backgrounds, and we have so much common than we think. But when it comes to nationalities or cultures, we tend to focus on our differences most of the time because we want to feel different, because when something makes us different, we feel like special. I don't know if any of you out there like feel that way. Whatever you think, just comment down below whatever you think. That's all I wanted to say in this video, guys. This is who I am, and I'm just Arsen. I'm like a very mixed person, and I'm just Arsen. So that's all for today, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye bye.